Many people believe that marriage is a simple and safe way to immigrate to Canada. For years, this belief has spread across social media, WhatsApp groups, and informal advisors. In 2026, the Canadian government is making it very clear that this belief is dangerous. Marriage alone does not guarantee entry into Canada. In fact, marriage has become one of the most carefully examined immigration pathways in the country. This video explains what Canada is warning about, why the rules are tighter now, how immigration officers think, and what this means for anyone planning to move to Canada through marriage. This is not fear-mongering. This is about understanding reality before making life-changing decisions. In January 2026, Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship Canada, known as IRCC, repeated a message it has been giving for years, but is now enforcing more strongly. The message is simple and direct. Marriage is not a ticket to Canada. If a relationship is not genuine, or if it appears to exist mainly for immigration purposes, the application can be refused, even if the couple is legally married. Canada defines marriage fraud as a relationship entered into primarily to gain immigration status. The government calls this a marriage of convenience. This definition does not depend on culture, nationality, or religion. It applies equally to everyone. The focus is not on where you are from, but on why the relationship exists and how real it is in daily life. In 2026, this issue matters more than before because Canada has reduced its permanent residence targets. There are fewer total slots available across all immigration programs. When numbers go down, scrutiny goes up. Immigration officers are under instruction to protect the integrity of the system. This means more questions, more document checks, and more interviews, especially for spousal sponsorship cases. Many people misunderstand spousal sponsorship. They believe that once a Canadian citizen or permanent resident agrees to sponsor a spouse, approval is automatic. This is false. Sponsorship is only the first step. The relationship itself must pass a legal test called the genuineness test. Officers are trained to assess whether a relationship is real and continuing, or whether it exists mainly to support an immigration application. When IRCC examines a spousal application, officers look far beyond the marriage certificate. A certificate only proves that a legal ceremony took place. It does not prove that two people share a real life. Officers want to see evidence of a relationship that developed naturally over time. They want to understand how the couple met, how the relationship grew, how decisions were made, and how daily life is shared. In 2026, officers are especially cautious with relationships that move very quickly. A short courtship followed by a fast marriage and an immediate immigration application raises concerns. This does not mean fast marriages are always refused, but it does mean they require stronger evidence. Without that evidence, an officer may conclude that the relationship exists mainly for immigration purposes. Another major focus for IRCC is consistency. Officers compare everything. They compare application forms, written statements, supporting documents, and interview answers. If dates do not match, if stories change, or if important details are missing, this creates doubt. Even small inconsistencies can weaken an application if they suggest the couple does not truly know each other. In many refused cases, the problem is not that the relationship is fake, but that it is poorly documented. Couples assume love is enough and paperwork is secondary. IRCC does not work this way. Immigration decisions are based on evidence, not emotions. If evidence is weak, the application can fail, even if the relationship is genuine. One area that causes serious problems is financial connection. Officers expect to see some level of shared responsibility or planning. This does not always mean joint bank accounts, especially for couples living apart, but it does mean evidence of financial support, shared plans, or long-term commitments. A relationship with no visible integration raises questions. Another issue is communication history. Officers do not expect couples to communicate every minute, but they do expect regular, natural communication over time. Relationships that suddenly produce a large number of messages just before application submission appear staged. Patterns matter more than volume. In 2026, IRCC is also paying close attention to previous immigration history. If someone was refused a visa and then married shortly after, this does not automatically mean fraud, but it does increase scrutiny. Officers want to understand the timing and motivation behind the relationship. If the marriage appears to be a reaction to refusal rather than the result of a long-term bond, this becomes a risk factor. When IRCC has concerns, the process does not end immediately. The applicant may receive what is called a procedural fairness letter. This letter explains the officer's concerns and gives the applicant a chance to respond. Many people make the mistake of treating this letter casually. In reality, it is often the last opportunity to save the application. If the response to a procedural fairness letter is weak, unclear, or emotional without evidence, refusal is likely. Officers are not persuaded by anger or frustration. They are persuaded by documents, timelines, and credible explanations. If IRCC concludes that a marriage is not genuine, the consequences are serious. The application is refused, and the refusal becomes part of the applicant's immigration record. Future applications may be examined more closely. In confirmed fraud cases, applicants can face bans from Canada for several years. In extreme cases, criminal charges are possible. Sponsors also face consequences. A sponsor who participates in or supports a fraudulent application can be investigated. Even without fraud, sponsors are legally responsible for the sponsored spouse for 3 years. If the relationship breaks down, the financial obligation remains. This reality is often misunderstood and leads to long-term hardship. For genuine couples, the message is not to panic, but to prepare properly. A real relationship must be shown through time, consistency, and shared life experience. Officers want to see a story that makes sense from beginning to present day. They want to understand not just that two people married, but why they chose each other and how they live as a couple. In 2026, spousal sponsorship is no longer a soft pathway. It is a serious legal process that requires honesty, patience, and strong documentation. Shortcuts are risky. Advice that promises easy approval is often misleading. The most important truth is this: Canada is not against marriage. Canada is against using marriage as a tool to bypass immigration rules. When officers say marriage is not a ticket, they are not attacking love. They are protecting a system built on fairness and credibility. If you are planning to immigrate through marriage, the safest approach is to slow down, document everything properly, and understand the rules before applying. A rushed application can destroy opportunities that may never return. This message is especially important for people planning their future based on assumptions rather than official policy. In 2026, assumptions are expensive. Preparation is protection. Canada's warning is clear. Marriage can open a door, but only when it is real, proven, and built on genuine life together. Anything less is a risk. If you are watching this and thinking about marriage as a pathway to Canada, take this message seriously. Canada is not closing its doors to families, but it is closing the door to shortcuts. In 2026, the system is slower, stricter, and far less forgiving than before. Many people get into trouble not because they are dishonest, but because they are unprepared. They listen to rumors, friends, or social media advice instead of official rules. By the time they realize the mistake, the damage is already done. Marriage is a life decision first, not an immigration strategy. When immigration comes before the relationship, officers can see it. When documents are rushed, stories don't match, or timelines don't make sense, officers notice. And once doubt enters your file, it is very hard to remove. This video was not made to discourage genuine couples. It was made to protect you from assumptions that can cost years of your life. Canada still approves spousal sponsorships every day, but only when the relationship is real, well documented, and strong enough to stand under scrutiny. If this information helped you understand the system better, stay connected. This channel focuses on truth, not promises, policy, not rumors, reality, not hope alone. Subscribe if you want clear explanations, official updates, and honest guidance on Canada immigration in 2026 and beyond. The goal here is not to push you to apply fast, but to help you apply smart. Thank you for watching. Stay informed, protect your future, and make decisions you won't regret.